Hello, this is Nate, your host and partner on this journey, and this is Outcome Becomes Income. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about emergency funds. Our goal ultimately is to build long-term generational wealth through the stock market. But before we can get to that point, we should always have something in the bank for worst case scenarios, and that's where an emergency fund comes in. It gives us cushion against financial setbacks. Life always just has a way of getting in the way, whether it's a job loss, medical emergencies, car repairs, unforeseen accidents, any number of things. And if you are out of work and you're no longer having income coming in, that'll definitely put investing on pause, but it's also going to make it very hard to continue paying your monthly expenses. So the emergency fund, again, it builds that cushion. We should be taking a piece of every single paycheck that we earn and putting it away. A lot of people will say anywhere from 3 to 6 months is a good cushion. Personally, I shoot for 12 months. I remember reading the story from Bill Gates way back in the day when he was starting up Microsoft. And he said that it made him feel safe, comfortable. He could sleep better at night knowing that regardless of what was going on with Microsoft, how many sales they had, that if he had 12 months in the bank that would pay for all expenses to his employees, to his vendors, and everything else, that he felt good. And that always stuck with me. So I have 12 months, and I still always can try to put a little extra in there just because of whatever it may happen. So for you, maybe 12 months would make you feel comfortable. Maybe 6 months, that the line of work that you're in or the field that you're in, you will always be able to find work quicker, or that the downturns won't be that long. But I can't stress enough, having something in the bank for when things go wrong is an absolute necessity. The next thing I would say is also, you don't earn a return on your savings account that has your emergency funds in it. Right now, interest rates have ticked up a little bit as the Fed has raised interest rates, but it's not very meaningful. But it's been said that the return that you earn on money is not the actual interest that the bank is paying you. The return actually comes when you have the money in hand, when you don't have to beg or borrow or whatever it is. You don't have to borrow against your credit cards. You don't have to ask friends for money. You don't have to continue to just keep thinking, where's that next dollar going to come from? That you already have it in place in hand. So that's the return. So there's so many bank accounts that you can get online these days, as well as your local branch. And most of them now don't offer or don't have any sort of monthly charges and fees. And if they do, I would consider strongly looking at a bank that doesn't have any monthly fees or minimums. In this day and age, the same with investing. Things like commissions and fractional shares are available at a lot of different brokerages, and that'll allow you to just invest what dollars you do have. And the same for the emergency fund. Whatever savings account you have, if it doesn't have any sort of monthly fees or minimums, it's going to make it a lot easier. And the one thing that I try to stress too is that there's all sorts of numbers that you should be aiming for, as we said, to get to that point of having a balance in it. But start small. If all you can afford is $1 a week, fine, put in that $1. If you could afford $1 a day, that's even better. You can keep adding up. You can build from that 1 to that 5 to 10, and eventually over time. And it's going to take a few months, and that's all right. Wealth does not come overnight, and this is one thing that I often remind myself of personally too, is I have to get over these psychological barriers. It's actually very challenging right now too, seeing as that we are in a big market downturn, and I see my portfolio going the other direction. But again, trying to remind myself that this is a long-term goal, and I'm in this for multiple decades. Good thing about building that emergency fund is it's not going to take decades. It will take several months. But please stay at it. And once you feel comfortable, whether it's that 3 months that you have saved, 6 months, or even longer, we can start looking at those next steps of investing. And then future episodes, I will talk about some brokerages that we can look at as well. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. Questions, comments, feedback. You can reach me on Twitter @BecomesIncome. You can reach out to me on email at outcomebecomesincome@gmail.com. Occasionally I post some pictures on Instagram at outcome becomes income. And if you listen to me on a platform like Spotify or Apple that allows you to leave a rating and review, please do so. It'll help spread my name and get the word out there. And lastly, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you again for listening. That's all for now, and I'll talk to you soon. Hello, this is Nate, your host and partner on this journey, and this is